So I've run every day for just over 4 years.
How many days is that?
1600. Now it feels like brushing my teeth. Now my body feels like kind of gross if I don't do it. Running has given me so much purpose. Before I started my run streak, I got on some antidepressants.
For over 4 years, she's run every single day. Savannah Sachdev is considered one of the most recognisable figures in the running community. Let's talk a little bit about Ozempic. I was so shocked when the amount of girls who were healthy weight, they were coming into hospital because of the side effects of taking Ozempic.
We've been taught to hate ourselves forever, and now we're just expected to love it. Like, what? Like, I've hated myself since I was 7. I've never really been the person that like people want to hang out with.
Savannah.
Miss Faye.
What do you wish every woman knew by the age of 25? Thank you so much for clicking on this podcast, the first ever episode. I'm so excited for the conversations that we are going to have. We have really big plans, but we need your support. So please leave a review or subscribe. It really helps us get these conversations about women's health and wellness to more people. So quickly, just click the button. Just click the button. Okay, thank you. Before you found a safe place in movement, you were just a girl trying to feel comfortable in your own skin. Mm-hmm. What was school like for you?
Oh my God, awful. So bad. I was fully the person that just had no friends. Which actually, do you know what? I was thinking about this today. It's so weird being an influencer and now like so much of our lives being based on like engagement and likes and spending time with people all the time, because I've never had that before. I've never really had like a really close friendship group, and I've never really been the person that like people want to hang out with. So it's really weird to then become a content creator or an influencer, and then like people want to go for coffee, they want to pick your brain about things, they want to, and I'm like, it's strange because I know you never wanted to be my friend. Like, I've never really had that before. It's a weird thing to experience all of a sudden. But yeah, school was the massive tangent, but school was a very strange space, and I was one of the only people of colour at a boarding school, which was just, it was a lot.
So how old were you when you went to boarding school?
I went to that school from the age of about 10, but I didn't start boarding till 12 or 13. 12, I think I started boarding. And I was also, like, because Indian culture is really revolves around feeding. So I didn't really have much understanding of my limits around food, because within my culture, or within my family specifically, a plate would be put in front of you, a plate would be put in front of you, a plate would be put in front of you. So I was a lot larger than the other girls, which also added to a lot of them, like me not being able to like share their clothes, them not really wanting to be friends with me because I didn't really look like them. So yeah, school was very weird. And then got to 12, 13 and lost like a load of weight. And then people started being really nice to me. So my initial experience around like food and exercise was very tied to the way that I looked.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to being 24, 25 and finding running again in like during lockdown. That was a completely different experience, and that's kind of when I started running every day and kind of figuring out that it could just be for fun. So there was like a solid 10-year gap in between of me just like hating running.
So when you were going through that tough time where you didn't feel like you fit in, how did you cope when you felt quite isolated in boarding school and you felt you were struggling with not feeling like you fitted in?
Oh, I literally just became everyone else. Like I responded to how people were around me and became palatable to them. Like I tried to fit their body standards. I like made myself very small and very quiet because I'm naturally quite loud, and it's really weird. Like you know this about me. Like I'm really introverted, but with the right small group of people, I'm like very loud and annoying and large. So
never annoying, never like, if there's one thing I've realised in the last year is like that I didn't think that I was like self-deprecating anymore. I thought I'd kind of healed that part. But then things like that crop up where I call myself like loud and annoying. And because I think I experienced something similar where like I felt like I was too loud, too big, too annoying. And I thought that I'd untaught that, but then I say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't stop calling yourself annoying.
You're right there. The negative language around that. And actually, interestingly, sorry, so many tangents, but like my stepson the other day, I was messing around being myself. Like I feel like I'm naturally like a thespian by nature at school. Like I love drama, I love singing and stuff. And he was in public, I was kind of singing to him and my partner, Steve. And he was like, "You're really embarrassing me." And it triggered the little girl in me, and I took it so personally, and I immediately had a conversation with him, and I was like, I can take this really personally, and I can be really hurt, and I can be kind of not, because I feel like if a friend had said that to me, I'd maybe be a little bit nastier, and would have made me angry, but when you're talking to a child, you can't be like that. So I immediately sat him down, and I was like, what is it that bothers you about being perceived? Like if I'm being fully myself and we're having a good time together, why is that embarrassing? And I tried to just like analyze that with him at an earlier age, because it's the little boys that made me feel like that. And I don't want our little boy to go to school and make another girl feel like that. So trying to tackle that from a younger age for sure.
How has having like a stepson maybe like brought up some of those like memories from school, from your childhood?
I mean, kids are so blunt. So do you know, it's not so much that he brings up memories of childhood, but he definitely brings up the realization that I'm not healed. Like I got together with Steve about 7 years ago, and I sat down for dinner, obviously with them every night, and we'd have normal meals. And one day he was like, "Why is Savannah vegetarian and we're not?" And I was like, "I'm not vegetarian. What do you mean? Why is Savannah vegetarian?" And he was like, "She just never eats as much as us. Why does she not eat very much?" So he'd like tied the link of me not eating very much to me being vegetarian. I don't know how we'd come to that link, but it made me realize that I'd actively tried to eat less than like a 4-year-old. And I was like, crap, gosh. Like I was trying to measure my plate off his. Yeah. And it was like one of my first realizations of like a child has noticed that, and like this could really impact him, and I need to get my act together. Yeah. And like now it's so funny because people will see a woman running every day and they'll be like, "Oh, you're so addicted. You have, it's so disordered. It's so obsessive." But I've seen blokes do run streaks, and people are always like, "Oh my God, you're so disciplined. You're so strong," whatever. But it's interesting how much actually going for a little jog every day has actually helped to regulate my appetite and help to remind me what fuel is.
I completely found that with running, because running makes you so hungry, and also running makes you so hungry, but also you know that you can't run a 30k without having like a proper breakfast. And I actually found the same thing. It did really heal my relationship with food. Eating when you're literally physically trying to eat about 4 bagels in a day before like the marathon, it does shift your perception of food. But I want to go back to the whole running thing. What was the low point that led you to starting the running streak?
I think like everyone, like lockdown just sucked. Actually, I can kind of remember the day. I had moved in with Steve. Okay. And I'd lost my job. I got sacked actually because of lockdown. So I was living with him and his little boy, our little boy. He had a child from a previous relationship, and I just had no purpose. I was effectively being someone else's mum. I didn't really have a wage, and I was just like so lost and so down. And then I remember interviewing for jobs, and a company, it was a really good company. It was a really good wage, and it was the biggest wage I'd ever been offered. I got offered a job this one random day, and it was incredible. I was so excited. And we celebrated for dinner, and I will never prematurely celebrate for anything ever again, because I rung them up the next morning and I was like, "You didn't actually let me know if there was like any dress code or anything that I needed to." They were like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We actually, at the end of the day, we interviewed someone else. We actually gave the job away." And I just remember being so shaky and so upset and so down that I just like in a haze got up and just like went outside for a walk that kind of felt like a drunken walk. And I remember just like popping down, like I actually don't really even remember it, but that became a coping mechanism that I would do pretty much every day. And then that slowly became a jog. And then before I knew it, I was like 3 weeks into just jogging to the shop every day. It was never supposed to be a run streak at all. It was just like, it felt like the most natural. it felt like I was like getting the wiggles out of my body. It felt like the most natural way to get the stress out of my body and like expel that feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like this is the perfect point to explain like how we met, because basically when I started working as a doctor and I wanted to continue doing social media, it meant that on my days off I would literally lock myself in my flat and not leave, because I had to get like a certain amount of stuff done just to keep both of those plates spinning. And by 2 p.m. I was just getting these really, really, really like negative spirals. I hadn't left my four walls and just felt really crap, and it wasn't good for my productivity. I wasn't getting through my to-do list. So then anyway, I'm like scrolling because I'm not being productive, and I stumble upon this video by this creator who is saying never trust an indoor thought, and I'm like, this is exactly what I needed to see right now. And then I get up and I go outside and have a walk, and then maybe 2 weeks later I'm sat next to this creator at a dinner, and I'm with a friend who also really likes this creator, and I'm like, I don't want to interrupt their date. They're with their boyfriend, or partner, I should say. They're with their partner, and they get up to go and leave, or they pay the bill, and I say to this person, like, I watched this video that you did like 2 weeks ago, and it's just completely like changed like my mental health and really, really, really impacted me. And then this creator then stays and chats to us for 40 minutes. Yeah. And then now she's a really, really good friend. And I think there's a quote that you have said that I will read out to you. Running has helped you get out of your head and into your body. Mm-hmm. What does that feel like in practice?
I've even got a little, are they going to be watching it, or is it going to be?
Both.
Okay, well, if you're watching this, I've got a little tattoo on my arms. This is out my head and into my body. I guess the best way to put it is that, like, for me, running is very much presence over performance. Like, I don't give a crap about speed. I don't give a crap about time. I don't give a crap about what you're wearing. It's literally just about, like, bringing myself back to reality. Because I think, like, if anyone's ever experienced any kind of anxiety, you can just get so lost in, like, sometimes the physicality of it. Like, I get the shake so bad. I get so nervous in my legs. Like, I get, like, just jelly legs. And it just kind of brings me back to real life. And it's really interesting because now, like, obviously I have a little boy. It's a really fun way to, if he as a 9-year-old is ever really agitated or angry, I can be like, let's go get out of our heads and into our bodies together. It's a really, really great way to describe exercise. And anytime you don't want to go for a run and you're in a shit mood, if you like give yourself that little sentence, like, let me go get out of my head and into my body for 10 minutes, it's such a great way to actually push yourself to get out the door. I
think you've touched on a really, really important point about like the physicality of anxiety. Yeah. Do not get me wrong. Doctors are so bad for dismissing so many symptoms as just saying, oh, it's probably just anxiety. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But I also think that there's like this public perception of anxiety being just something in your head and not recognizing the connection between your head and your body. It's a huge impact. And it's all to do with your nervous system, you know, like anxiety does activate that part of your nervous system that is like fight or flight.
Yeah.
And when you go out for a run, you are like releasing that. You go out for a run and you're putting yourself in fight or flight intentionally. And then you stop, and it's like that release where your body just almost has permission to like calm down.
Decompress.
It's
so interesting how people have that understanding around a child. Like, it's like you will literally look at a child and you'll be like, you need to go get that energy out, but they don't relate that to themselves and their bodies, which is so strange.
Yeah. And so it sounds like being just a stepmom in general has, correct me if I'm wrong, been quite like a healing experience for you.
Both.
Traumatizing and healing.
Yeah.
But aside from that, how on earth do you just deal with being someone's like stepmom, you know, out of the blue?
It's so hard. I have no idea. I think about making content about it all the time, but I feel like there's just no right way to. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's the thing that isolates me the most, because it's the thing that if you ever voice to your friends and family that you're struggling with it, the easy answer is to just leave, right? Everyone's just like, well, don't do it. Like, I don't see why you'd put that stress on yourself. But the only thing that's helped me cope is running. Because not only are you dealing with friends and family being like, why are you putting yourself through it? Sometimes that little person doesn't want you either because you're not their parent. So you're so expendable. And especially if you're someone like me who feels like you're expendable in life to everyone anyway. Like I feel like if I didn't, I know that's so new, I know. I actually don't know what, like running has given me so much purpose. I actually don't know. Before I started my run streak, I got on some antidepressants, and I was really speaking to my partner about why I felt like, was it depression or was it just I had like a massive lacking in purpose? And I don't know which one it was, but there's something about getting up and out for 10 minutes every day that like I don't know what I'd do without it. So it saves me every single day.
Well, I think that's another really good point is, do not get me wrong, doctors are very, very, very bad for saying to people who are depressed, have you tried, exercising? I think it can obviously come across as very dismissive, and I don't think that going out for a run is an option for a lot of people. Of but there's such strong evidence about, say, the reduction in depressive symptoms in people who exercise versus people who take antidepressants. And there is evidence that exercise can be just as, if not more effective than antidepressants.
Yeah.
And in conjunction. So if you use exercise and antidepressants, it can be even more effective. So I'm not dismissing antidepressants as not useful at all. But I think there is science to back everything that you're saying.
Yeah, but I do agree with what you're saying. Like, and also as like a air quotes fitness creator, you have to be so careful about creating content that we've all seen those videos that call exercise therapy, right? And I personally am very careful around that language because it's a combination of things. And for me, it's not necessary. Like, obviously I use phrases like get out of my head and into my body and like never trust a negative thought you've had indoors. And they're all great because they're quick and you understand the point. But ultimately, it's giving myself some purpose. It's like focusing on myself and bringing myself back to reality for 10 minutes a day. Like, you've like changing your environment and focusing on you. Like, it's not just about, like, it's a combination of things for sure. And I think like the internet can be very ableist sometimes and you've got to be very careful of that. But yeah.
What did you think you would be doing? Like, Savannah, like when you were a child, what did you think your career would look like now?
Do you know, like, I think it's actually really sad to think about the fact that like I just didn't like myself enough to ever think that I never really think beyond this age. I like hated who I was as a kid, and I just never really thought. I guess maybe somewhere I thought my purpose in life was to potentially be a wife and a mum, but the thought always terrified me as someone that has always resonated as being maybe not the most mentally well. The thought of being someone's parent and like putting my shit onto a child has always really scared me. So I guess I just didn't like. I'm not someone that has ever been excited to have like kids or be married because I just never really saw any future for myself, let alone this.
Yeah. And then what was like the turning point where you did see a future for yourself?
I guess more the everyday now. Like now that I've got really lucky with my corner of the internet, and I have a really nice comment section and my DMs are so nice that I think like people, somehow my audience seem to know that I need the constant support, so they give me so much every day. Yeah, like I think it's still happening.
I think it's probably not that they know that you need that support. It's probably because they're reciprocating what they get from you, where they resonate so much with you. Or like the way that I came up to you in the restaurant and was like, like that video literally was like exactly what I needed to see at that time. So it's probably them just trying to give back to you in the way that you've given to them.
Maybe. Oh, you'll probably think this as well. But you know how like everyone has this really negative idea of what influencers are?
Yeah.
But like we put content out because we want a conversation with people. So whenever someone approaches you in real life or like says something about your video or like is really kind to you or like you don't know that I actually really needed that. And like that's actually, I'm so glad that you had that conversation with me today. And that's kind of like I put out so many stories of just like what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. And the point is actually to be relatable and create a conversation with the people that follow you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I actually do want to be your friend.
But I feel that that's not what every creators' aim is, you know?
Yeah.
I have a quote from you
Okay.
that is somewhere.
What bullshit we came out with.
So you've said, a large following means nothing if brands won't pay you because you're doing more damage to your audience than good. What do you think are some harmful messages that you've seen on social media recently, or what do you think, like, the darker side of?
I mean, I'm sure we're all on skinny talk right now. I'm sure we're all like, life seems a bit Ozempic-y right now. It's a bit scary.
Yeah.
I'm like, when everyone just like eat a normal meal that isn't like PCOS anti-cortisol friendly. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Why can't we just fuel ourselves? That's fucking terrifying. And you know what? Actually, I've just come back off a PR trip, and it was the best time. But sometimes when you're like, okay, firstly, I want to be clear. There are twats in every industry. Like, I don't think influencers are innately bad. I think I've met plenty of people in every industry that I don't like.
Oh, hell, absolutely.
It's not influencer specific. And also,
it's just that it's just that the people who are not very nice people are
in your eye.
In public. Yeah, you're seeing it. Yeah.
Exactly. But I actually just went on a trip, which is incredible. But I don't often get invited on beauty trips. Like, I've made a really big effort. Like, for today, it's a massive deal. Like, this first podcast to be like the first guest on it, and I was like, speaking to my partner, I was like, I'm actually going to wash my hair, I'm going to wear some lipstick, I'm going to make, because we're going to watch this forever. Like, this is a massive memory. But I'm not this, you know me, like, I don't really, I wear the same gym gear 5 days in a row, and I don't really care about looking nice. It's not really a part of my personality I care about.
Stop talking down to you. Always look gorgeous.
No,
there's no
you know what I mean. Like, it's not something that I really care about or like put much value to. So to go on this trip where like all the other creators were very aesthetically focused, I really struggled with it because I was the messy one of the group, and my boyfriend had to keep calling me and checking in, and he kept having to be like, no, you are beautiful in your own way. Like, you need to stop comparing yourself. It's the message you preach, and you're in it right now, and this is where you need to practice what you preach. And it is so hard. It is really hard, because we do live in a world where people still correlate health with beauty.
Let's talk a little bit about Ozempic, because I think, so I was so shocked when, like, last year, the amount of girls who were a healthy weight coming in because they were just vomiting, and they were coming into hospital because of the side effects of taking Ozempic, and they were getting it off like the black market, and you see it. There's like nail salons that are selling Ozempic to these girls who they're not the
target market.
They're not the people who there's some really like incredible research coming out about Ozempic. I think it's a really, really powerful medical, revelation, because there are a lot of people who struggle to lose weight, and that is like, as someone whose BMI was verging on obese, and I really, really, really struggled to lose weight. I think it's so helpful for a cohort of people, and can be helpful if used safely.
I agree.
But the way it is being
abused
is like, it's terrifying, and you're giving it. I think it also shows that we might have thought that our diet culture, our body image issues as women societally have got better since the 90s, the awful era of the 90s. But I think the way that people are jumping on Ozempic shows that we haven't really.
I don't know, did we ever think that? Did you ever really think women were doing good?
I mean, like, some of the stuff you see about the Kate Mossy stuff,
Yeah, but we always jump from trend to trend. Like,
yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. Also, do you know what scares me at the moment? That we think it's just like influencers online and like young women, but like, I feel like I could name the amount of my friends' mums that are taking it to stay
one of my close friends from school is taking it from, and she's got a close friend who is a doctor, and she is taking it from off the black market, despite what I have said. And that is like normal
Yeah.
girl who is a healthy weight.
Yeah.
And it's so terrifying.
I have a friend, maybe 3 or 4 friends that are taking it, that are very athletic looking already, but they are taking it to quieten the noise, like the food noise. So, which I actually, I mean, I experience food noise. So like, again, I don't have much judgment here. I've just like sadness for them that they feel the need to lean on it in that way. But I have a lot of friends that will force feed themselves meals because they understand they need like a certain physique. They don't want people to notice them lose the weight that much, but they take it solely to quieten that voice in their head that just screams at you constantly to like eat more, eat less, or eat more. But then I'm like, what, do you even know what you're doing to your body long term? Like, do we know? Are we healing the bigger problem here? No.
Well, I think because I had quite like bad binge eating, like that was what was the root of my struggles with my weight. But I think there was a couple of things that really like worked for me in terms of you have to do like the internal work with the food noise, like the learning how to eat intuitively, learning how to like tune into your hunger cues again, also recognizing what is triggering it. Because for me, it would be something bad would happen and I was a big comfort eater. And it was easier for me to just eat and not like address my feelings and sit with those feelings. And I think the issue is those issues still exist. If you've quietened the food noise, there's still the mental,
that conversation in your head.
There's you haven't addressed the root cause.
I'm actually really glad that you said that, because I think the thing that has helped me the most, because I was the same, I really, even up till till I first met Steve was my partner, was someone that really helped me address it. Something that's really helped me deal with food noise is just acknowledging that it might always be there. Like, I think sometimes I look at people that seem to be healed and that's always just made me feel like a piece of shit, but actually having the discussion with them, around them, still having those thoughts sometimes just makes me feel more normal and makes me feel okay with still processing those feelings sometimes. I don't think it ever goes away.
I don't think it ever goes away. I think the thing is if we look at when was the first time you think you felt like insecure in your own body?
This is the thing, like, we've been taught to hate ourselves forever, and now we're just expected to love it. Like, what? Like, I've hated myself since I was 7. Like,
and so I remember the first time I told my mum I was going on a diet and I was 9.
Yeah.
And I think that is like such a formative age for our brain.
Yeah.
A lot, like, our brains are so much more malleable and, you know, impressionable when we are that age than they are now. It's a lot harder. It's not impossible, but it's a lot harder to change our brains now.
Yeah.
So I don't think those feelings ever go away. And I think you're completely right. I think when you accept that those issues will probably always be there, but you just learn how to manage them and you learn like the tactics.
You also learn how to be fulfilled elsewhere. So it's just, I think that's what you just learn that it's not as important as you used to be.
100%. And I think that what I found really good is when I'm in a flow state and when I'm at work, I'm preoccupied doing something like I'm passionate about. I don't have time to be thinking, to have like that food noise or to have like, oh, like what am I thinking about, like my weight and, you know, things like that. I'm filling my brain with more important stuff.
But that's it, more important. It's so key that even literally like the trip that I was just on, that like my partner had to call me and be like, Savannah, you are beautiful in your own way. I was really disappointed in myself because normally I'm so busy and so fulfilled elsewhere that's why it's not important to me. Like I actually just don't really think it's the way you look just isn't important. Like I just don't think it's a valuable thing to care about, really.
Yeah. I think it takes up space. I think it takes up space. We all have a finite amount of energy. Yeah. We're not all limitless pots of brain power. And when you spend brain power on thinking about how you look, you take brain power away from other things like the impact you want to make on the world, the messaging you want to put out there. Yeah, no, I actually recently spiraled with Savannah. I spiraled to Savannah because I was like, when I quit my job, I'm not going to have that go into work and be busy. And I am actually really, really, really worried about having more brain space and having to be quite intentional with filling that extra brain space with relaxing, recuperating, and not those issues from the past just raising their ugly head.
But that's just it. You will be so intentional. I have been so intentional with filling that time and space. And like now I know just not put myself in environments like I did last week. Like I know you will just be more intentional with it. And it's so good that you're aware of that and thinking about that now.
And I think there's a lot of people who aren't. I think that's such an important lesson.
Exactly.
Being aware of like what is triggering you, what is bringing up those issues that you've worked hard to not address, whether that's people, whether that's content, social media, like people you follow.
Exactly.
You know?
I think a big thing as well, this like over the last few years for me has been just accepting my genetics. Like just being like obviously like body positivity, body acceptance, all of that like buzzword language, whatever. It can be a little bit toxic online, but actually just like you can't change it. What are you going to do? Waste time crying about it? Like you can't like tough, like you can't change it. You are what you are.
Yeah.
Like just put that time and effort into all the wonderful things that you are capable of doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're more than how you look.
Yeah. Cringy, but true.
Yeah.
You little shit. Do
and
something with it.
Yeah. That's not to say that you can't like make an effort with your appearance or, you know.
Yeah. And that's not to say that for some people, the way they look is like, I have a friend, for example, that's a model. And since she's been a model since before pre-10 years old, right? And she was telling me that like being beautiful is the biggest thing about her personality. And she's like, it's all I've ever been prayed for. It's all I've ever got work for. And I was like, well, that's great for you. And but that's not my truth. Like, and I think that's okay. We have different truths. Like,
but then I wonder how that will manifest in 20 years time when we live in a society where women's beauty often isn't recognised. Like isn't recognised as much as they age, which is so bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
I found that so I was like a normal weight and then went through a bit of a tough time and then had my binge eating and then, you know, my like I do think BMI has faults, but my BMI I was like verging on obese. And I think before that point, I defined myself so much by like being externally validated appearance-wise, and then being conventionally not attractive was quite like, it was quite
jarring.
Yeah, it really shook me and really made me question like how I was getting like my validation, you know?
It's just something we're just constantly going to be fighting. Even like what I see it in my content. When I had hair extensions a few months ago, when I had hair extensions and lip filler, the engagement and the money started rolling in, and it's being aware of the impact that can have on you as a person. Like I think it's just the world we live in, and it's so scary to see. It's weird because people on the internet are saying both. They're saying like you're creating these unrealistic beauty standards whilst they support them, but I think you just have to try and focus on.
I think it's like recognizing the world is, you can't change the world overnight.
Yeah.
You can change it bit by bit, but it's also focusing inwards and thinking about how you can build up coping strategies to live and exist in this world that is very, very, very flawed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we live in a world that will be like, you're too focused on the way you look, but that same person will comment body T. Like you little.
Right. Talking about body image and self-worth. So so we've got some community questions, basically kind of about running.
Okay.
So community question is, I'd love to know how she fuels herself and what she does to avoid injury. We're all told to have rest days. So how does she factor this in and avoid injuries, strains by running every day?
I actually just don't have meal times. I eat when I want to eat. So something that I've stopped doing is like, I used to see what my boyfriend was putting on his plate and my brother was putting on their plate, and would just try and eat a little bit less than them at the same times as them. But now I just, whether I have 4 meals a day, 7 meals a day, the minute I feel like a little hunger pang, I'll just eat whatever feels right for me. And it means I also, because I had the same, I was a little bit of a binge eater when I was younger. Well, actually, no, quite badly. I really struggled with it when I was at school. And I mean, I don't know if, I think the word intuitively eating is bullshit coming from an influencer that has nothing but time and to manage the way they eat. But I just pretty much honour my hunger cues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think as women, we're taught to ignore them for so long. I think getting more in tune with them is like so important. What about
recovery?
Recovering.
Recovery for everyone is so different, obviously. So something that I think people don't recognise when they ask me that question is that they're walking to work every day. They're standing on their feet all day. They are parents, have very, very physical jobs. I sit in my room and edit videos all day. Like I don't do fucking anything. So me going for, and I'm saying very slow by my standards, okay, like by what Savannah is capable of doing. I do a very, very slow joggy walk mile when I feel like I need recovery. And for me, I've run every day for just over 4 years.
How many days is that?
Like 1,600. Like about that, I think. But you got to think about the fact that your body acclimatizes. So like now it feels like brushing my teeth. Now my body feels like kind of gross if I don't do it, because I kind of taught my body to be at that level of fitness. So now my active recovery is very different to what it was 4 or 5 years ago. So now I need a lot less sedentary recovery than I used to. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's recovery is so different. Like, but I do take recovery. I probably take recovery 2 or 3 days a week. And also, I don't give a crap about running fast at all. Like I go for jogs. I don't go. This is the thing. I think people hear the word run and they think, oh, she's really pushing herself. Yeah. I go for these like jogs to get out of my head and into my body. So I'm never really pushing myself to the point of having DOMs.
Yeah.
So, but like a kid will go play it in the playground every day, right? You wouldn't be like, you're going to take a recovery day.
Yeah. So I think that we've got so used to living this sedentary lifestyle that we don't recognise that, if we were many moons ago, thousands of years ago, we had to be active because we had to go get food every day. We had to forage or hunt or, whatever. So if you run for 10 minutes a day, but it's at a slower pace, it's a job. It's an active rest day.
Exactly.
And to caveat that, when we ran the marathon this year, I had just finished my like orthopedics placement. And one of the girls who was working on the day of the marathon said she had I think something ridiculous, like a ridiculous number of women under the age of 30 who came in with broken hips at the London Marathon. Yeah. And that is directly due to, it's a lot of the time, it's very slim women who've been training for this marathon who haven't been who don't know how to fuel themselves properly, haven't been fueling themselves properly. So I think that, and then their bones become so weak that they break at an age that your bones should not be breaking at that age. So I think that is a really big issue with people, especially if you're new to running, not resting, not knowing how to fuel, and recognizing that it is completely different for you. But when we ran the marathon, I literally for the next 3 days I was like hobbling. Yeah. And then my consultant who literally like runs ultramarathons in her sleep, she ran 150 kilometers. The next day was in work and not even limping. So I think you're completely right.
You acclimatise, your fitness acclimatises,
and you have to listen to your body,
100%. Also, like, it's something that I have to get used to and fight every day, but people always comment. And again, I was speaking to my partner about why I take this why sometimes I'm a bit like, should you have said that? But people will always comment on how much I eat. People will be like, oh, you're being greedy, or like, are you going to get another plate? And I actually joke, because now I'm like, no, I do need fuel. I run a fucking lot. But it's firstly why it shouldn't bother me. Like, why do I take that personally? Why do people feel the need to comment? But like, if you saw the amount of meals that I eat and how I consume food, like no one ever conquered the world on an empty stomach. And like, so snapshot, so true, right? Like, also like the body ideals that you are relating to being healthy are not. They just aren't. Like what you consider a runner to be is not the truth.
That's really interesting. So how do you manage with on running social media, the emphasis that is placed on
the way you look?
Well, the way you look, times.
Yeah.
Like that comparison side of running social media and fitness social media.
Honestly, I'm a little bit older. Like, I think because I'm 31, I'm literally just like, if I was 10 years younger, I'd probably, no, that's not true. I grow up. You are an adult. You know that that's not realistic for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry to give you tough love, but like, you don't need the newest outfit to run. You don't need to look like everyone else. You don't need to run the same pace as everyone else. You know to be proud of yourself that you went for a 20-minute jog today. And you're comparing yourself to something that you know is unrealistic and someone that you know has nothing but time. That's on you. You need to
own that.
Yeah. And that's something that I did. Like, I used to take offense to it. Of course I did. But now, like, I'm just like, be realistic. I'm a literal fucking parent. I run multiple businesses. I have a partner and a family that I want to keep happy. Like, no, I don't give a crap about a running speed. Like, and it's funny because sometimes people messaging, this is very rarely because my corner of the internet's so nice. But sometimes I get messages from people being like, you're so slow for a running influencer. How did you get your platform? That's so dumb. I'm like, that's why. Like, it's being a normal person and like balancing all of these plates that probably makes my content a little bit more comfortable to watch.
I think also it makes me really sad that the benefit of running is the
performance times, yeah.
The benefit of running is that you just need a pair of trainers and you can just go outside. You don't need a gym membership. The barrier for entry is so low.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes with social media, it can make the barrier for entry seem higher. Like to be a runner, you have to be running at a certain pace and that's really, really like, I think that's sad.
I think also I was really careful about the brand deals. So that I'm really careful about, obviously people have to understand that this is my job, this is how I make money, right? But I'm very specific and choice about the brand deals I do around running because we don't want to make this sport inaccessible. So obviously there was a time where dating apps and stuff were getting involved and they were paying a good chunk of cash to get you to host run clubs. And I had to really think about my messaging there because like, if you think you look good running, you probably went to a school or have a skin color where like a very specific skin color. And I'm like, I don't want to make running even more inaccessible. So I'm probably not going to do that brand deal that encourages people to date at run clubs because it's only a very specific kind of person that is in the kind of shape that probably wants to be looked at when they're running.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It actually we did go through a phase where running seemed very elite. Like there was only a certain kind of person that could do it. And that kind of person would also want to date at a run club. I was like, that's not really my message. And that's actually kind of bullshit. Like I fully agree with just looking like a little gremlin when you're running.
That really neatly brings me on to one of the community questions that has been sent in specifically for you. Woo. So it made me really sad. I want to start running, but I find fitness related activities in public quite scary as I feel self-conscious. I tried at-home workouts, but I would always come up with excuses and had no accountability to keep going. As someone who is trying to start running by herself, what would you recommend to overcome this fear of starting a new hobby related to fitness when I struggle to stay accountable to?
Oh, this gives me goosebumps. Firstly, we've all been there. Like everyone had to start at the beginning. Everyone has sucked. What a privilege to get better at something, you know? I've been there. When I first started running, I was out the door. It started as me going for like 5, 6, 7 minute jogs every day. Go for time, not distance, definitely. Don't put the pressure of like a 5K is a fucking long way. Go out for 5 or 10 minutes initially and build up stamina there. And every week, if you can, add on a minute, add on a couple. Something I also really, really like to remind myself is no one knows how far you've gone. So like you could be jogging next to someone. They don't know if you've run 1 kilometer or 37. Like they don't know where you're at. Also, when was the last time someone jogged past you and you judged them? Like I personally cannot remember a single person that's jogged past me and I've thought anything negative about them. Slow the fuck down. Who you racing is a really good one. Like,
I went on a run with Savannah and Savannah was like, slow down. You shouldn't stop trying to, you know, you're not in a rush. Like we can just, and we did the whole entire run like a chatty pace. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like, I mean, movement is such a privilege, right? Like why would you not make it as enjoyable as possible? Slow down, buy yourself a little treat at the end, give yourself a reward if you do it for three times that week. Like turn it into a game. Like I remember when I first started, I'd run to a tree, then walk to the next one, then run to a tree, then walk to the next one. It can be whatever you want it to be. Just make it as enjoyable as possible. And remember that like, everyone looked silly when they started.
That is probably a reminder to me. I should post more pictures after I've run because I get so red. I literally look like a full tomato.
Yeah.
And that is how you don't look
No.
You don't look like you're on the cover of Runner's World, where they've done your hair, they've done your makeup, and you've pretended to run. Like, those people haven't actually just finished a run, You don't
just look perfect.
No, you look sweaty and gross and red.
You look like you've just been for a run. Like, yeah.
That's
crazy.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting as well. You say like 5K is a long way because the amount of people and you probably get it all the time, people saying, I could never run a marathon. And I had to say to people, you absolutely could, because the January before the marathon, myself and my boyfriend went for a 7K, and I was stopping to walk because I was out of breath every kilometre without fail. I was like, I need to stop and I need to walk. And then 4 months later, did the marathon. Like, 5K is a long way. Yeah. When you see the beauty of running is you do actually get much better with consistency, and you see that and you feel so proud. But it's not easy. If you have to stop and walk every, minute, even run to the next tree, run and walk, that is like completely normal.
It's still a run just because you had to walk. Also, I think it's really interesting how like people will invest in a tennis coach. Like you'll go to a tennis lesson and be like, I'm shit. You won't take that person. You'll just invest in a tennis coach and you'll keep practicing till you get better, right? Running is the same.
Yeah.
Like you just have to practice it, but you will get better.
Yeah.
It is fully a skill that you just need to practice.
I'm gonna share Savannah's rogue, or Savannah, would you?
This is so good.
Would you like to share? Because when I was training for the marathon, I'd never run distances as long as what I had to run. And when you're marathon training, you do like you do end up doing like 4 half marathons. You do a 32K run, you do like a 20-something K run, and my biggest thing was boredom.
Yeah.
Savannah gave me a great tip.
Yeah.
For the boredom. Yeah. That I have not actually tried out, but I would like her to share.
It's a really good tip. Also, I have loads of running mantras. One of them is I chant to myself, you're not tired, you're not bored. You're not tired, you're just bored. You're not tired, you're just bored. And it's actually so true. But the running hack, I can't speak. The running hack, my friends, is to listen to porn or there's like audiobooks, right? That are like the funnest, sexy stories, or just listen to like an actual book like Akatar or something that's like a little more sexually focused, because I basically wouldn't let myself, I listen to audiobooks a lot, I wouldn't let myself listen to Akatar unless I was running. So then I got to a point where I was like, well, I really want to hear the rest of this book, so I would be excited to go out for a run the next day because I really wanted to hear the rest of that story, or like just go have a good time on a run. But I really, really recommend it. Recommend it. I haven't tried it, but if I do, I will let you know. Please do.
That reminds me of a habit that I have is if Love Island's on, I only let myself watch Love Island if I'm cleaning my flat. But you pair something you don't want to do with something you want to do. Like it's really hard to enjoy running. It is hard
to enjoy. It's boring as fuck.
Yeah. Like and especially when you're in the beginning, when you're not that good. Like,
of course.
You have to incentivize yourself, or you get a croissant at the end. Like,
exactly. Yeah. Make it as enjoyable as you possibly can, or you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and porn is a good way to do that.
And it was the most unhinged. And like, we went for a run after I had a night shift, and then we went for a run afterwards. So I was like sleep deprived. And when I'm sleep deprived after a night shift, it does feel like I'm intoxicated. It literally feels like I'm drunk. So I'm like semi-drunk, like so wide-eyed, running with Savannah, and Savannah is telling me this, and I'm like, this is so, like, I'm so waved.
Like, is this real life?
Yeah, is this real life?
Yeah,
I do.
I'll send you some links.
A little bit of, edgier conversation. Yeah, Esther's just texted me. She just texted me, do you want to hear about her body image impacted her confidence in sex, which I was just about to come on to. Great minds think alike, Esther. Great minds think alike. Neat segue. Very neat segue. You've said that your sex life definitely improved, not because of the impact running has had on your body physically, but because you're so proud of yourself. The fact that I keep showing up and getting better at running has given me a confidence that has translated to me being more self-assured in asking for what I want in the bedroom.
For sure.
How did running reframe your sense of ownership Or tell us more about that.
I feel like I just have firstly, I have a better understanding of my body now. I sit in it and actually am a lot more present in it than I ever have been, because I have to respond to how I feel every day to decide how I'm going to run, right? So I actually think about my body a lot more than I ever have. I feel more physically proud of my body and what I put it through, which means I feel sexier. I also am someone that has always had a really hard time speaking up for myself, to the extent that I'd say that I can be a bit of a liar, in the sense that I will tell you what I think you need to hear as opposed to my truth, which is something I'm really actively working on. I'm really lucky my partner can spot it a mile off and he'll be like, no, tell me what you actually want. But running's really helped with that, because giving myself that rule of I have to go out for 10 minutes a day has meant that now I'll say like no to friends or no to my family or no to Steve because I need to get my run in. So it's made me speak up in a way that I haven't really done before. So it's kind of taught me to be a lot more honest in my needs, which I've never really been like that. But it has massively impacted my sex life for sure. Yeah.
It's so empowering, I think, and also as women, like, you're taught that it shifts your perception of your body as well.
Oh, for sure.
Like, your body is not this like passive thing that should be made to be smaller, should be made to fit a certain, stereotype. You show yourself that your body is capable of like these incredible things, and that is like so empowering.
Oh, 100%. Also, like, I feel so grim, but not even that grim. But when you're eating to fuel yourself, like, you make food choices that are maybe going to sit on your stomach better, which means that you're going to digest better, which means your pooping schedule is probably going to be better. Like, all of it relates. And like, if you're sitting more comfortably in your body, you are just going to feel sexier. Yeah, for sure. It's not about the way you look. It's about the way you feel. Well, I mean, it can be about the way you look, but for me, it's about like actually eating things that make my body feel good, because I want to run tomorrow, which means I'm probably going to fuck great. No,
I think also something that's way too ignored is the relationship between like sex and your nervous system.
Yes.
And the incredible effects that running has on your nervous system, on the regulation of your nervous system, because there's so much bullshit you see about running is bad for your cortisol, running is bad for your nervous system.
Have you seen Runner's waist at the moment? Like Runner's face on TikTok. I'm like, what are these? What? Like, yeah, anyway.
But it's stupid, because it's like the whole anxiety thing. You go for a run. You go for a run and that helps with your anxiety. It calms down your nervous system, and you can't get like in the mood unless your nervous system is calm.
Unless
like,
you're present. Yeah.
That is biological, it's physiological.
Exactly.
So being able to keep your nervous system calm also has like benefits, which is great.
It's fully like the only time I'm ever present and actually thinking about my body. 100%. Yeah.
It's a form of meditation, I find, running.
Oh, absolutely. I keep trying to do yoga too, and I just can't. I'm sure it works really well, but it's something I really can't do. But running actually or jogging really, really works in the way that I imagine yoga should. Yeah.
It's with different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. And I think also on that note, it might not work for you, and that's fine.
That's also fine. Yeah. But that's trends come and go in terms of exercise. But I think if you, like, now running is huge, but like if you enjoy weights,
do that. If you like Zumba, whatever. Do that. But I think movement's key, but like whatever it is you want to do.
So as the first guest, I really want to ask this question on every podcast, so you're going to be the first one who is answering.
Okay.
Savannah.
Miss Faye.
What do you wish every woman knew by the age of 25?
That nothing you're going through is embarrassing. Nothing about you is embarrassing or gross. Everyone has been through it. The more open you can be, the more you can create discussions around the things that you're nervous around, the more you're actually helping people around you. And that's very much what I would like my space of the internet to be. I just want to like normalize what we've previously coined to be embarrassing. Like everything is so normal, and everything that makes you special and makes you different from other people is probably also going to feel a little bit embarrassing. Like, so just be you, lean into your uniqueness. That is completely spectacular. Yeah. We need more of you. Like, you're wonderful as you are.
I love that so much. I know, I think that was the perfect first answer. Thank you so much, Savannah.
Are you kidding? That was so fun. Thank you for having me.